Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly MMA Cycles Market Update. This is Gianni DePoce, your host. This week, I'm coming to you from the forests of northern Michigan, but markets are still moving, and the Uranus signatures that began this week unfolded in a manner that is very much in alignment with geocosmic expectations. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and we can start off by looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So Monday's rally, when we had the opposition between the sun and Uranus, was pretty, low key. But then on Tuesday, we gapped up and exploded higher, closing at the highs of the day. And then here on Wednesday, we are still seeing some gains so far. So, Uranus is a planet of breakouts, and we're seeing stocks break to new highs here. We, created new resistance zones, or rather new support zones. We broke former resistance zones and made new support zones, and this is very much in alignment with the nature of Uranus. So we also have this week Mars trine Neptune on the 17th of November, followed by Sun trine Neptune the same day, because on the following day, on the 18th, we are going to have a conjunction between the Sun and Mars. And the correction that we had previously that led to this rally was in alignment with our studies that show that you tend to see at least 8% or more declines within a certain period of time going into Sun conjunct Mars. So that unfolded accordingly and put our readers on alert for a potential rally. And now it does indeed look like stocks are in a new 50-week cycle, in addition to being in a new primary cycle, which, if you think about it, puts us on a pretty good track going into the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction next year. Let's go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ, which is leading the market higher. That is no surprise. So Uranus also rules tech. And after yesterday's soft inflation report, first time in 3 months that we had an inflation report that wasn't above estimates, we saw tech lead the market higher. And that's not a surprise given the Uranus signatures, because it wasn't just Sun opposite Uranus, but we were coming off a Mars opposite Uranus aspect from the weekend as well. So tech steamrolling higher, leading the market higher. That's very important because tech is far and away the biggest sector in the market, and thus its moves have a greater impact on the direction of the indices compared to others. Let's go ahead and take a look at interest rates in the 10-year Treasury. So yesterday, after the soft inflation report, we saw yields drop pretty hard, but so far today they're up again. We are still in between various possibilities that a longer term cycle could be in effect now in the bond market. But at the very least, when it comes to bond prices, T-note prices, which would be the inverse of interest rates, we are in a new primary cycle. And however, we can't rule out that a high is forming here in bond prices or a low in interest rates. We'll have to keep an eye on this going into Friday. I want to go ahead and take a look at gold. I'm going to use GDX, the gold mining ETF, as a proxy. So yesterday was a very strong day after the soft inflation report. Today we're coming back down. And, Neptune aspects can be, decent for gold. So I'm curious to see how we finish off this week. If we can finish near the highs of the week, I think that's a really good sign. Usually it's Jupiter that doesn't bode well for precious metals, but we did form a higher low here, which is a step in the direction for the bulls, but more work is needed to confirm the bullish outlook. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin. So we are in the time band for a major cycle low here, and we do have a reversal date period, and this low that formed on Tuesday was within the orb of that period. So we have to be on alert for a major cycle low being complete in Bitcoin. Again, nothing changes the bullish trajectory. It looks pretty good going into the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction of April next year. It is getting late in some intermediate term cycles, namely the 15-month, but, either that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction could coincide with the high or a low, but that's something that we're watching. We have seen Ethereum do exactly what we wanted it to do under Venus's transit through the sign of Libra. So we did have a 20% or greater move already, and it's looking very bullish. We rallied to a new high for the year, and now it looks like we're completing a higher low, which would reinforce the uptrend. Let's go ahead and take a look at crude oil. And this is a very important market right now, given the Neptune signatures we have later this week. So it looks like another lower high was completed, and this should be a tailwind for interest rates to come down in the immediate term. So the question now is, do we get another reversal and a potential higher low during Sun trine Neptune and Mars trine Neptune within a couple days later this week? But we're definitely in a corrective downtrend, forming lower lows and lower highs. And so the inflationary case out there does seem to be under control in the near term. And that's just a matter of, what could be the catalyst that could reverse that. Keep in mind that Jupiter is the co-ruler of crude oil, in addition to Neptune. So perhaps the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction next year could be important for this market as well. And last but certainly not least, we're going to take a look at the euro as a proxy for the dollar. So we had a big pop yesterday, came right into technical resistance, and now we're selling off a little bit now. So we'll have to see how long this rally goes on for, but the trend is still very much lower. And, we could see, since the inflation numbers are coming down in the U.S., the market is taking that the Fed could eventually start cutting in the near term, and hence the demand for the dollar may not be as high. So that takes care of all that I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much for spending time to watch this weekly update here with MMA Cycles. You can find all of our work reports and courses at www.mmacycles.com. We did just release the Shanghai report this past Monday, and then next week, the monthly edition of the ETF report will be released. So if you want to see our updates on SPY, TLT, USO, GDX, Bitcoin, healthcare, tech, home builders, those are some of the ETFs covered in that report. But until next week, we will see you, and enjoy the rest of your week and have fun trading these bullish markets.